I can't really remember a time that I was not obsessed with beauty. I was putting sun in my hair at 13 and wearing Heaven Scent as a fragrance and Love's Baby Soft at camp and Bonnie Bell Lip Smacker. I started feeling really counted out, really less than, especially when it came to beauty. It was messaging that was very negative, as if after a certain age, you're no longer beautiful and sexy. And I thought, men don't live by that standard. Why is it different for women? I thought there's really a white space here. Women should start feeling really positive and great about growing older. At this stage in our life, we feel really good. We feel confident. We don't give a shit anymore what other people think. It's still really hard for me to talk about this without getting emotional because I see so many beautiful women that are accomplished, successful, and they feel really badly about themselves. But I am 61, and I really am proud of that. I've lived a long life with a lot of adventure, and I have a lot to share. We are just at the beginning. New products, new programs, the sky's the limit. I want to do everything from creating really technologically advanced, groundbreaking products that really make a difference to advocating for women's rights, doing what no other woman has done in beauty. I can't really remember a time that I was not obsessed with beauty. From my earliest memories as a preteen, I was reading 17 magazine and fascinated by skincare products, sun care products. I was putting sun in my hair at 13 and wearing Heaven Scent as a fragrance and Love's Baby Soft at camp and Bonnie Bell Lip Smacker. So from the very beginning of my journey as a preteen, I was already a beauty junkie. I don't know if there was one moment that I realized this was a path I was meant to be on. I just think that I've always been very passionate about beauty. And from the beginning, I always loved what I was doing. There was never a moment where I felt like I'd rather be doing something else or this isn't working for me. I just have always loved the business, been passionate about what I'm doing. And I think the transition from corporate to being an entrepreneur was where I really had the aha moment of, yes, I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I was meant to be in beauty as an entrepreneur. I think I've always been obsessed with my skin. I think it started when I was around 19. I started to get acne later than most, but it really was embarrassing and humiliating. And I tried to cover it up and I tried to make it better. And I remember my mother taking me to Georgette Klinger, which at that time was a very famous spa. And of course, she had taken me to a few dermatologists before that, but they had all made my skin worse. But when I went to Georgette Klinger and I had an esthetician tell me, if you follow what I tell you to do and you listen to me, I will make your skin better in 3 months. And I did everything she said and my skin completely cleared up. So that's when I realized I was really interested in skincare and could really make changes to the skin with skincare. And it really just snowballed from there. There were 2 points in my career where I thought maybe I should do something else. There was a point earlier on when I thought maybe entertainment. And I sort of came full circle and realized, no, I really just love beauty and that's what I know. But around the time of COVID, I sold my second company and I thought, now might be a time to try something else or transition. I've been doing beauty my whole career. And so I started a food company. It went well and it was, a good time to start it during COVID. It was COVID related. But I just realized after a couple of months, I don't have the same passion. I don't have the same knowledge. I don't have the same experience that I do in beauty. And it made me realize my passion is still really in beauty. And so I thought, well, what am I going to do next? And all of my companies have been about finding a need or something that was important to me that I wasn't finding in the industry and figuring out a business to create a solution. And the same thing goes for All Golden. I think when I was in my 50s, I started feeling really counted out, really less than, especially when it came to beauty. When I would go to the beauty aisle, it was messaging that was very negative, and as if after a certain age, you're no longer beautiful and sexy. And I thought, men don't live by that standard. Men get older and people think they're always still sexy and hot and they go out with younger women. But why is it different for women? And little by little, I started to see that change. Mostly it happens like at cultural moments with celebrities like Cher dating a much younger man, or Demi Moore looking great for her age. And I thought there's really a white space here. And I think it's time that there starts to be really different messaging for women, really different visual associations, cultural touch points. And women should start feeling really positive and great about growing older and about their age. For one, what's the alternative? And two, I think at this stage in our life, we feel really good. We feel confident. We feel like we don't give a shit anymore what other people think. And it's about us and doing things for, us, what we like, what we want to do. And so I felt there was a brand in there and a product line in there. And that's really how All Golden was born. I always say being an entrepreneur is like being on the roller coaster. One day you're on the high and you think it's amazing, everything's great, you're knocking it out of the park. And the next day you're at the bottom of the ellipse and you feel like everything's wrong, it's a disaster, what am I doing? I'm going out of business. And so I think in your 50s, you're able to get somewhere in the middle of that and not get too swayed in one direction or another. And it makes for really being a better business person, thinking more strategically, being a better team leader, being a better manager. I'm in a better mood than I was in my 30s running a business, and I'm more confident about my ability. I feel like I have more command of the business, and I feel like I have more control over the outcome. You can always make your best swing when people aren't looking. And what I feel like is when I'm underestimated, people aren't paying attention and they're not really noticing me. So I can really come out of left field and hit a home run. The funny thing is that even though I am a beauty junkie and I am really obsessed with my skin, I'm not into a routine or regimen that contains hundreds of products. I like to keep things pretty simple. I'm busy. I like a system or regimen that's streamlined. So I like products that really work. And for me, when I say really work, it means really hydrates because I have dry skin now. Gives my skin a glow because my skin tends to be a bit dull, and that helps with the lines, expression lines, deeper lines, and helps to really renew my skin and keep it looking fresh and sort of with that youthful glow. I feel like it doesn't take that many products to really get there and really make a difference in my skin. So I like to say, keep it simple, keep it effective, and it's about the whole toolkit. So it's about skincare, it's about dermatology, it might even be about plastic surgery, but it's all of the things that we use together to look the best that we can look. We don't want to look different. We don't want to look 20. We want to look the best that we can at this age. It comes back to also social and cultural perceptions. The way we appear to others is how they treat us and how they perceive us. And a lot of people think beauty is vanity, but really it is about how we represent ourselves to the world and how the world perceives us. So it's actually quite important. My All Golden products are my can't live without. And that's why I developed them. I developed them because I felt like the products in the market that I was using weren't fully satisfying my skincare needs and didn't have the attributes and benefits of products that I really wanted that would work for me. For one thing, I'm very into the aesthetics. So I like products that have great textures. I like products that smell really good, even if they don't have fragrance, because I don't like fragrance. And I've found as I've gotten older, I'm very sensitive to fragrance. So I don't like products that are stinky, that have a lot of smell or scent or fragrance in them. So our All Golden products are really, really fresh and clean smelling. And obviously I want products that are really going to function and perform. They have to perform at a really high level now. I think the bar keeps rising up in skincare. So for me in the morning, I wash with a very gently foaming cleanser. and it's really nurturing to the skin and it doesn't dry it out. Then I use my all golden firming serum, which creates a really nice first layer on the skin. It's hydrating, plumping, glowing. Then I use my all golden lotion, which brings an amazing glow without pearl or glitter to my face. It just is like a glow from within. And I also use the eye cream morning and night. At night, it's a similar routine, except for on top of the serum, I use a night cream because we're launching a night cream next year. It's not out yet, but I am obsessed with it. And so I use that on top of the serum at night. And then as needed, I use my firming eye patches, which are amazing because they get the lids as well as the under eyes. They firm and lift and tone and smooth. It's everything you'd want in an eye patch. And then I use the root changer once a day for my gray hair, which turns the hair back to its original color, and my hair wand, which is the finishing touch for any routine. It gets all those flyaways and wiry grays straightened and glossed down. I always say it's a circular motion. When you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, if you don't feel good, it's like a feedback loop and it ruins the rest of your day. Like you don't feel yourself, you don't feel your best, you don't feel like you can perform at an optimal level. It's really about starting the day off on the right foot, looking in the mirror, feeling good about yourself, and that it goes hand in hand with using your product. So for me, it's all about like that inner well-being, the calm, and taking care of your wellness in addition to just treating the outside. So for me, it's also about working out, meditating, really, really taking care of my emotional, mental health and feeling good, which translates to looking good. I think we've become so addicted to social media and the images that we see that we're looking for instant gratification and sort of this idealized version of beauty. Everybody is striving to look the same, like a skinny nose, big lips, slanted, taut eyes. I think there is no real beauty standard. I mean, I think everybody is beautiful in a different way. And I think it's our individuality and our uniqueness that actually makes us beautiful. And the variety of, nose shapes, skin tones, eye shapes, that's what beauty is and what makes it so interesting. I think really it's about being real. It's about being authentic. And I think that is going to be the next wave. I think there's a lot of myths around if you get older, you're no longer relevant, you're no longer beautiful, you're no longer sexy. And I mean, all we have to do is look at some of the faces that we see in Hollywood, Julianne Moore, Demi Moore, Christy Brinkley, Elizabeth Hurley, Halle Berry, Salma Hayek. I mean, women from many different backgrounds. And these are women, 50s, 60s, 70s, and they are amazingly beautiful. And more than that, they have a gravitas that women in their 30s and maybe early 40s don't have. So I think it's like really coming into your own and really owning who you are and being comfortable with who you are and having that sense internally that you can be beautiful at any age. It is, really about that inside being beautiful and showing on the outside. It really is. I think that the industry focus on Gen Z and selling skincare products that for anti-aging to girls that are 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's really how the beauty industry is failing right now. The women, Gen X and boomers are basically being ignored. And, it's ironic because these are the women that are making purchasing decisions, have disposable income, are loyal customers, and are often early adopters. And so it is really ironic. But, for me, I think this goes back to a lot of the heads of companies in the beauty industry still being men. So I think they're missing this because they're not living it and they don't know what it feels like to be a woman over 45. It's going to take women coming in and starting businesses. And there is a category that is being created now by a bunch of Gen X women who are all launching products that are geared towards women of this age group. And they're positive, they're luxurious, they're cool, they're sexy. And it's coming. It's coming. So watch out. Going golden for me really is about a mission. It's a mission to change cultural perceptions and to really create acceptance and positivity for women in the second chapter of their life. And I am really trying to embrace that by creating a community of women who all feel left out, who feel less than, who feel negative about the aging process. Like it's still really hard for me to talk about this without getting emotional because I see so many beautiful women that are accomplished, successful, and they feel really badly about themselves. And it's because of the messaging that they're getting every single day from social media, from TV, from interfacing with people in restaurants, from stores, from the workplace. And I really want to change that. So I'm really trying to embody that by number one, coming out of the closet about my age. I have found it incredibly scary and tough to be honest about my age. I've been lying so long because I look really young for my age, but I am 61 and I really am proud of that. I've lived a long life with a lot of adventure and I have a lot to share. I feel really good about where I'm at in my life and who I am. And I want to create a halo effect for other women to be okay with who they are and where they're at. And I think this is a tough age because for a lot of women, we're either divorced, if we have children, or leaving home. If we're single and never been married, we're wondering sometimes what the rest of the life is going to look like for us. So it's really a time of transition. It's a time of not where am I going, but I've arrived at where I'm going to go and like, okay, what now? And so it's not really an easy time. And I want to have those conversations, those hard conversations, sometimes emotional conversations, but create a platform, especially with Going Golden, my podcast, where women can come and learn, engage, ask questions about all kinds of subjects that they are thinking about, that they are experiencing, like dating and relationships, like longevity, elder care, sexuality, plastic surgery. So there's a gamut of subjects that I want to create content around and create bonds with other women because I think there are not a lot of places to go right now where there is all of this content and answers to very real questions that we have and just don't know where to go to ask those questions. So I'm at the beginning of the journey and we'll see where it takes me and everybody else. I would say definitely number one has been meeting so many amazing, impressive, and inspiring women. That really has been the best. It is incredible how many accomplished women are out there doing incredible things and changing the world. And I want to meet more, highlight them, put them up on a pedestal, and make them really feel great about what they're doing. And there's a lot of quiet warriors too, people out there just trying to figure out how to survive every day. And I think a light needs to be shined on them as well. The second part of this is really that a lot of people said, look, why are you starting another business at this stage of your life? Why don't you retire? Or, why don't you take it easy? But the thing is, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very passionate about this mission that I'm on. And I still have a ton of energy. I'm still excited to learn. I'm still excited to engage with other people and learn from people younger than me and older than me and the same age as me. And I've been surprised at how much energy I still have and how much I'm still able to do. I mean, I think we sort of blame age for a lot, like, oh, I'm too old for that, or I'm old now, I'm not going to do that. And I think we have to really stop doing that. I mean, Diana Nyad swam from Florida to Cuba in her 60s. And there's just a woman that went to the moon who was also, I forget, like in her 60s. I mean, it's incredible what women can do at any age. My advice or my perspective is that it's not going to turn out the way you think. I had a very strong sort of vision of what my life was going to be like, and it has not turned out that way at all. And I was so sure it was going to turn out that way, and it did not. So I think don't be disappointed if it doesn't turn out the way you thought it was going to. You have a destiny that's all your own, and learn to appreciate and embrace it and be happy for all the silver linings. We are just at the beginning. There is so much to come, new products, new marketing initiatives, new promotions, new programs. There's so much that we're working on and so much that we're doing. And really, the sky's the limit. I cannot wait. I mean, I want to do everything from creating really technologically advanced, groundbreaking products that really make a difference to advocating for women's rights and beyond. I really would like to leave a legacy of breaking new ground, creating, capitalizing on inflection points in the industry, and doing what no other woman has done in beauty. I would like that to be my legacy, and also really living authentically through my brands and really trying to make a difference, not only in women's lives, but also by protecting the environment, creating authentic products that are clean and healthy, and setting a really good standard and being a role model for younger women coming up through the ranks. It's never too late. I had a grandmother that lived till 105, and she learned how to drive in her 80s. It is never too late. There's an amazing book called Roaring into the Second Chapter of Your Life, something like that. And it is a book all about that. It was a very, very inspiring book for me. And I read it while I was working on the development of All Golden. And it basically says that if you follow your passion and you do what you love to do and you embrace life, there's no age limit on that. I think that aging is a gift. We're lucky if we age. And instead of being negative about it, I think we really have to change our perspective on aging. If we have our health and we get to live every day making choices, even if we have challenges, even if it feels like we're swimming upstream, I can promise you life has not been easy for me. And especially the last 7 years have been the hardest 7 years of my life for many, many reasons. But yesterday I went to visit a family member who has advanced Alzheimer's. And it really resonated with me that when you're sick and you don't have your health, you have no choices. So when we have the gift of health, we really have to embrace that no matter what our age is, and be positive and optimistic about what the future holds for us. We don't know how long we're going to be here for, and we have to take advantage of every single solitary precious moment.